Judging people's top 4 favorite movies. First up, we got Leonardo DiCaprio. He's running this level 7 cinephile build. Basically, a strategy is to just max out his film history stat by equipping a bunch of legendary items. He's got 2001: A Space Odyssey, Vertigo, and Taxi Driver. All of those are super OP legendary items. The only issue with this build is that it's pretty susceptible to getting spammed with the Pretentious attack. So Leo put up his defenses against that by equipping the Big Lebowski. And I gotta hand it to Leo. That's a really smart play because he's a film historian, but he also knows how to have a good time. I gotta give this build an A tier. And next up, we got Ridley Scott. He's going all in on the nerd build. He's got 2001: A Space Odyssey, Star Wars, Blade Runner, and Quest for Fire. Now, those first 3 picks are really popular in a lot of nerd and geek loadouts. Can't really go wrong with those. Plus, he's also got Quest for Fire. It's this rare item. Not a lot of people are running it. It's a prehistoric fantasy movie. Fits perfectly into the geek archetype. But the craziest thing about this build is that he equipped his own movie. That is an absolute power play by Ridley Scott. Not only did he make one of the greatest sci-fi movies of all time, he then has the balls to just casually equip his own movie into his top 4 favorites. You gotta respect that. That is a pretty baller move. I'm giving this an A tier. It lacks a little bit of versatility, but overall, this is a really strong build. Jenna Ortega looks like she's running a level 5 art connoisseur build. She's got Lahan, Barry Lyndon, The Passion of Joan of Arc, and Paris, Texas. And all of these are fantastic movies, but this build has a critical weakness. She's gonna have to deal with a bunch of lower level anti-intellectual players. You're just gonna keep on spamming the Pretentious attack against her. She has no real defenses against it. Unfortunately, this is a very low versatility build. Very strong in certain niche situations, but has a lot of weaknesses. For example, if you're having a movie night with a bunch of casual general audience members and you try to show them movies like The Passion of Joan of Arc or Barry Lyndon, they're not going to let you pick the movies anymore. So unfortunately, I have to give this build a C tier. Very good in certain situations, but it just has too many critical weaknesses. I can't put it any higher. LeBron James, he's got the old reliable level 1 film bro build. This is
I
one
can't
of my
remember
favorite archetypes in the
top
entire
4
game.
movies.
He's got Goodfellas, Coming to America, Gladiator, and The Godfather Part 2. You can make fun of this build all you want. You could say it's basic. You could say he's playing it safe. You could say that this is pretty much a noob build. But you know what? It gets the job done in almost every situation. The only real weakness with this build is that you're kind of vulnerable to attacks from higher level film snobs. But outside of that, you can't really go wrong with a standard film bro build. I'm giving this a B tier. Billie Eilish, and she's a great example of how to effectively min-max the edgelord build. She's got the Babadook. We need to talk about Kevin I Origins and Drive. So the Babadook is a common horror item that you can use in a lot of different builds. This is a really good baseline to start off when you're just beginning as a level 1 edgelord. And then after that, she's adding on some edgelord special abilities from Drive, and we need to talk about Kevin. I mean, Drive especially is a really strong pick in any edgelord build. We need to talk about Kevin's a little bit more niche. It's kind of a rare item. And then as the cherry on top, she added I Origins to give some versatility to her build and round out some of her other stats. This is a really good way to play the edgelord strat. She's going about as edgy as you can get without people thinking you're a weirdo. I have to give this build a B tier. Can't go any higher because it is weak against people who are easily disturbed or easily offended, but overall still a very strong build. Charlize Theron, she's pretty much living proof that it doesn't matter who you are, anybody can run the dad movie build. She's got Jaws, The Matrix, Old Yeller, and Once Around. Now, you might think that Jaws and Old Yeller are redundant items to add into the same build, because both of them are movies where animals are major characters, but they actually are used in completely different situations. So Jaws and Old Yeller is actually a pretty strong combo attack. And yeah, I definitely think Jaws is a much stronger item, but Old Yeller is still a pretty good one to have in your repertoire in case you ever need a quick and easy tearjerker. And adding the Matrix is always a good move. It's one of the most overpowered items in the game because it works with film bro builds, sci-fi nerds, dad movies, even edgelords.
I don't know. I feel like it's so hard to come up with a favorite movie. What is it based on? Is it based on how you felt when you saw it the first time? Is it based on how many times you've seen it?
Simple fact of the matter is the dad
Is it based on like objective things?
I'm giving this an A tier. Jeff
know.
Probst, and if you don't know who that is,
More
he's this
objective
reality
things.
TV host, and he's basically running a.
How do you decide?
He's got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Boogie Nights, Almost Famous,
One
and
that
Do the Right Thing.
inspired you?
All of
I
those
mean,
are
you see,
more or
everyone
less
has a different
hangout movies that
definition.
take place in the
Right.
60s through 80s, and yeah, all
'Cause
four of those are great movies. But the problem is that he's
technically,
dumping all of his points into the boomer nostalgia
one
stat,
game
completely ignoring
can
all of
be
his other attributes.
objectively
And
better
I
than
do
another
kinda
game,
respect it
but
'cause he is one of the strongest
you were
boomer
happier
nostalgia
playing
players in
the other
entire
game
But there's
because of the
absolutely zero
times
versatility
it
to
was
this
in,
build,
right?
so I have to give
Same
it a
with
C
movies.
tier. Stephanie Shu from Everything
like
Everywhere
Matrix
All
when
Once.
it released.
She's running a level 6 quirky.
I don't know if
and
Matrix released today, it would just be kind of, you know, good but not very good, because the concept has been done kinda from then on.
Quirkiness is coming from the Decalogue and Flubber combo attack. She's combining the power
But
of
it didn't.
Decalogue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you base it based on when you watched it the first time? Do you base it on release date, or do you base it on today, if you're watching a movie today? If you could reset your brain and watch that specific movie today, these are all wildly different categories.
Top fours in the entire game. He's got this
Wildly
level
different
5
categories.
art house nerd hybrid build that includes Star Wars, All That Jazz, Excalibur, and Blue Velvet. I mean, this is just an amazing build. He's got the nerd game on lock with Star Wars and Excalibur. He's got one of the most powerful musical items in the entire game with All That Jazz. And then he's just rounding everything off with a classic David Lynch thriller. Overall, this is an extremely well-rounded build. It's so overpowered to the point where it's almost unfair.
Objectively,
I'm
Lord
giving this an
of
S tier.
the
Kirsten
Ring is
Dunst,
the
Mary
best
Jane from
movies ever
Spider-Man.
made.
She's running a level 5 psychedelic film bro build. She's got the Godfather. It's just a legendary baseline item that works in pretty much every single build, and it gives her versatility across the board. She's also got Paris, Texas, another one of the most overpowered items in the game, because it increases her art house movie stat, it increases her defenses against film snob attacks, but it also actually increases accessibility to general audiences, because pretty
accessibility to general audiences. Is that you, chat? You can't judge others' favorites if you don't have one. I didn't judge their favorites. I did not judge any of their favorites at all. Nader, thank you, man. We got Sazka-chan, Kyozols, what's up? X7, Star Force TV with 5 years. Forsen the Spur, minus 60 months. Thank you very much, sir. I can't remember. I can't make a list because I just don't know. You would probably have to make, in order to make a top 4, you would have to put all the fucking movies like this in a list, and then you would have to do the systematic sorting of putting one movie above or under another movie, right? And then eventually you will have a ranking, but that shit would take so fucking long. That shit would take so fucking long to figure out. Just name 4 random Marvel movies. Marvel is pretty shit. It's pretty shit. I haven't even seen probably 50% of all the Marvel stuff. Probably not 50% even. True story. DC is where it's at, alright? Marvel is too kid friendly.